So we've been around for 10 years. We started due to the void and the lack of representation of event professionals looking for work, whether it's freelance or full-time. And we ourselves were event freelancers jumping from role to role. There was quite simply nobody to help us find work, and there was nobody to help clients find freelancers in the market. You had a couple of crewing companies, and you had a couple of boutique recruitment agencies here and there that were doing mainly sort of uh, conferences and exhibitions and things like that. But for the live event world, there was really a void. Thankfully, we were right in our theory that there was a demand for this, and it took off. We also offer full-time placement services, and we have a different department that does guest services, i.e. ushers, hosting staff, ticketing staff, and so on and so forth. But starting in 2019, pause for COVID, and then right after COVID cleared up and events started opening up again, we've had more opportunities in the GCC than we've ever seen in our 10 years of existence, and in my 15, 16 years of living in the UAE. And the main reason for that is the UAE was primarily the place for an event professional wanting to work. And you would every once in a while jump over to Doha, do a project in Doha. You might jump over to Saudi, do a small project there, etc., etc. But the majority of that was going on in the UAE. Then KSA came, and when KSA came, I mean, it almost feels like limitless opportunities. Every project is just mega, and they just need a huge number of people for a long amount of time. Because of the scale, because of the duration of the project, and so on and so forth. And it's really the way of the kingdom. It's their way of saying we are changing, we are opening, we are bringing in the best of the best, and we're doing it really fast and really hard, which is amazing, because the opportunities for anybody in the industry, whether you own an AV company or you're a freelancer. I mean, all you have to do is knock on a couple of doors and boom, you've landed yourself a job, People need to understand the rules of where they're going, because there are rules. We've all read something in some newspaper or another, or seen something on social media or another, but there are rules and they must be respected, and because we are, as people fly in from different places in the world, they are, bringing their own set of moral, what's right and wrong, and so on and so forth. And even when I first moved to the UAE, it took me a bit of time to adjust to things like, the fact that I couldn't, kiss my girlfriend in public, and that was something that I was very accustomed to in coming out of Lebanon. But I very much learned I'm in this country, and I need to follow those rules and be aware of what they are, because they are taken seriously. Now they're not as severely punished as what we had seen in the tabloids before, and things like that. Okay, so they've loosened up and eased up, but we have to follow. In short, in KSA, do avoid going there on a tourist visa for work. It should be avoided. If we've not seen any instances where it's been problematic, but it's very easy to get an business invite from your employer, and you go and you process that through the embassy in the nearest Saudi embassy to you, wherever you live. And you can get a business visa. Okay, that is the kingdom's way of allowing for people like yourselves from wherever you are in the world to fly in, and it is significantly better than going in on a tourist visa. There's a thing called a mission visa out here. Mission visa is a 3-month visa that your employer or an entity like us can get for you. If companies like us will do it if we're processing the booking, the placement of that person. It's a 3-month mission visa that is renewable. It's a single entry though visa, and it's not considered a residency. So there are nuances to that. I've been in Dubai since 2007, and I can count on one hand the number of non-Arabic speakers that have actually learned Arabic that I've met.
Right.
If those people show, the ones that have actually taken the time to learn it, get so much appreciation and love from the Arabic speakers. You've actually taken the time to learn the language. I have not met one single person from the UK, Spain, whatever it is, the clients will just melt over you. They'll just fall in love with you. It's such a,
Yeah.
it's very appreciated, but unnecessary. You can get by with shukran, habibi, and the more catchphrases and all that you learn, the better. There is an element of persistence that needs to go into it. It's get organized, get structured, have a bit of a spreadsheet, okay, I do your research and say, I want to work on Soundstorm. How can I get through to Soundstorm? Well, there's multiple companies that are involved. Who can I talk to within these companies? Uh, Coming up with a unique message of sorts. Hey, I saw your webinar on this, whatever it is. It is, in many cases, it is, like with companies like us, it is in our best interest to get you work as long as you're going to do a good job and represent yourself and us well. So we want to, but sometimes, I mean, the inboxes get flooded. So it's okay to do a follow-up after 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Obviously, there's that thin line between persistence and nagging, of course, but once a month, perfect amount. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for that nudge to be responded to, you can follow up with somebody else from another company and somebody else from another company.
Yeah.
I still have, and I'll never throw it away, my spreadsheet where I was listing out my job hunt spreadsheet where I was listing out all the companies that I want to visit. I was nerdy, man, and it got me my first job, and honestly, it was a great first job. Um, I think that's really important, and you cannot, as Mark said, sit on your behind and wait for a recruitment agency to call you, because I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, if you're a stage manager and they type into their database stage managers, there's going to be 7,000 stage managers that appear. And even if you shortlist it down by languages and by whatever where they're living, it's still going to end up being like 150.
Yeah.